Hello everyone, welcome back to Edubbey Dynamic Solution. Today we will be treating another paper 1, that is short answer and data response on business study, which is October-November 2023. Here we must answer all questions that we have, and let's scroll down and see what we have here. Now here we have question 1. We have a short appendix here. Let's try to read that out. Paulo wants to start a business making cake. Okay, he plans to sell all his products to a wholesaler. Paulo knows the packaging for his product will be what? Will be important. He has prepared some financial and sales data. An extract from this data is shown in table 1.1, which is this one we are looking at. Paulo is considering using crowdfunding as a source of finance. He knows the business will also need working capital. Now we move to our question. Now, question 1 here says we should define what working capital is. What do we understand by working capital? Let's try and type. Of course, our working capital is what? Is the finance needed by the business to pay what? To pay its day-to-day cost, or to pay its day-to-day expenses. Let's try and type that out. It can be defined as the finance, can say finance or money needed by a business to pay its day-to-day expenses or costs. Day-to-day expenses or cost. And you can also say the capital needed to finance day-to-day running expenses. And also you can put it in formula to be what? Current assets minus your current liability. Of course, that will also give us our working capital. Now we have our question 1b here. We have to calculate the average revenue per day, and you have to show your workings. Using this table 1.1, we have to use this to calculate our average revenue per day. Of course, to get your average revenue here, it will be your price per cake multiplied by the number of units sold by the business, which is here. Let's try and show our calculation. Before we move forward to the final answer. It will be your what? Price multiplied by number of units sold, which is what? Let's try and drag this up. Yes, we have it here. We have our figure here, which is $6. We have the $6 multiplied by what? Our number of units sold is what? Okay, it is 50 units. We have 50 units, and this will give us what? This will give us $300 to give us $300. Now let's put our final answer here. Okay, let's try and put it after we've shown our workings in order to get our full mark. We have 300 as our what? As our final answer. Now let us move to the next question. Okay, question 1c. Outline 2 reasons why packaging will be important for Paulo's business. Why do you think packaging will be more important to Paulo when is running his business. Okay? Packaging could protect the product. That's the first point. It protect what? Let's say packaging, packaging product will protect, yes, packaging will, let's try and put our products in front of the protect. Packaging will protect the product. It will also keep the goods safe. Protect, yes, protect the products rather. Protect the products and ensure, it will ensure quality when the product is saved. Ensure quality in making, in selling the what? In selling the cake. That is an application. Another reason is what? It can also be to promote brand image. That is, the packaging will differentiate Paulo's goods from other products. Okay, packaging also promotes brand what? Brand image and differentiate, let's put it, and differentiate, promote brand image and differentiate the product from others. Differentiates the product from others. That's the two reasons that we were told to outline. Of course, it can also be to add value or higher prices than the $6, and it can be used to advertise also, that to attract customers so as to increase the sales. Now let us move to the next question here. Question 1D says, explain one advantage and one disadvantage to Paulo's business of using crowdfunding as a what? As a source of finance. By using the crowdfunding, you are raising money from a large number of people, which can always be on internet. Now here, what is the advantages of using this crowdfunding as a source of finance? Okay, the first one is you did not need to repay, which it is not added to your liability or debt. When you are using crowdfunding, no need, let's say no repayment, because before we can, no repayment. Okay, let's try and put our explanation 2 here. No repayments, no need to repay. Let's say no need to repay. So it does not added to, it doesn't added to its liabilities. Doesn't added to its liabilities. Liabilities, yes, you can also call it debt. Doesn't add to its liability. And also low interest. When there is low interest, that means it does not increase cash outflow for the business startup. Yes, for the business startup, we can leave that because we are just to explain only one, but we have more. Okay, what other disadvantage do you know of using this crowdfunding as a source of what? As a source of finance? Okay, no guarantee. of raising full amount. That's one of the disadvantages. No guarantee of raising what? No guarantee of raising, let's say, enough amount or sufficient fund. Okay, let's try and put our explanation also before we move to the next question. Okay, it may not what? It may not raise, it may not raise enough or sufficient fund. So you must find another source. You must find what? Another source of finance. Yes, you must find another source of finance when the business is not, when using crowdfunding and it is not guaranteed of raising enough money, or it must pay everyone. So it must find another sources of finance. That's one of the disadvantages that we have. Of course, also using it may not be also reliable, or it may not be a stable source of finance. Now let us move to the next question here, which says, do you think selling to a wholesaler is the best channel of distribution for a startup business to use? And you have to justify your answer. What channel of distribution do you know apart from wholesaler? Of course, we have retailer, we have direct selling also. Now let's try and put some points related to wholesalers and see whether it is the best to use for the startup business. Okay, let's try and bring it out. We have wholesalers. Wholesalers. Okay. The first one is when the business is selling to the wholesaler, they are likely to buy in large quantity. Let's say they will buy in what? In large quantity, which will increase sales, which will increase sales. And when there is an increase in sales, of course, they will have a lot of revenue. And the second point is what? An wholesaler can also hold less inventory. Let's say they will be what? They will be holding less inventory, which will lead to a less storage space, to also lead to less storage space, and it will reduce the cost of paying for warehouse. Yes, that's another point. Of course, another point is also to deliver to one location. When the business is selling to an wholesaler, it will only what? It will only delivered to one location. And when that is there, it will lower what? It will lower cost. Let's say which lower transport cost, to lower the transport cost. Now after seeing this, let's try and see other channel of distribution before we can pick our justification based on the wholesaler. As I said, we have retailer. Let's try and put it out for comparison. We have retailer. Other method includes, let's see, other channel includes, can list them out. We have retailer, we have our retailers, that is they will reach wide range of customer. That is, the retailers is selling to the final consumer. We have retailers, we have selling through agents, who is also there, selling through an agent, selling through an agent that will make him have local knowledge or higher sales. Selling through an agent, and also by selling direct to the customer. Now let us see what's the justification of using wholesaler as the channel of distribution for what? For the new business. Okay, let's try and add our text. Let's try and add our text. Why do you think a wholesaler is the best channel to use? Okay, let's try and put it down. A wholesaler is the best channel to use because you have to give your reason, because it helps to lower cost. It helps to lower cost, especially for a new startup business. Of course, when there is lower cost for a new startup business, they will have what? They will have limited capital. Let's try and put that too, especially for a new startup business, which will what? Which will make them to have a limited capital. Yes. Okay, now let's move to the next question that we have after we've done justification to that. Okay, we have question 2. In our question 2, we also have short appendix here. TBX manufactures high quality steel, which is used to build railways. The method of production used allows TBX to benefit from economies of scale. The business owed a high level of inventory, including iron ore. Yes, the managing director knows business activity could have an impact on the environment and is considering ways the business can contribute to what? Sustainable employment. Using this appendix now, we have the first question under it, which says identify 2 ways business activities will have an impact on what? On the environment. That is, this is talking about external cost that a business can actually cause to what? To an environment. Of course, the first one that should come to your mind is what? Pollution. Let's try and put the first way and the second way. According to the question, we have to identify them. Okay, the first one is what? Pollution. Let's say pollution. And what are the example of your pollution? Let's say pollution, which might include noise. It can include noise, air, say etc, because we are told to identify here. Of course, we have global warming to emission of greenhouse gases also, it's also part of pollution. The second one is what? Waste. Of course, waste. A business activity can also cause waste to an environment by using what? By using single waste, let's say single waste, by using single single use, that is they did not use renewable materials or non-recyclable materials. Single use what? Single use, single use, let's try and put it is on the correction. Okay. Single use material, single use material. Yes, that is the business is not using is using to use non-renewable or non-recyclable. When it is not use it, yes, wasting by using single use material. Now let's move to question 2B. Question 2B says we should do what? We should identify two ways a business could contribute to sustainable development. As we have seen what what might be the impact of the business activity on the environment, we were told to identify the way a business could also contribute to what? To a sustainable development. The first one is what? They can reduce the number of products made by them. Let's try and put it out to identify it. Reduce, reduce what? Reduce the amount of products made or the level of output. Let's put it in slash or level of output. And also the second one is what? They should also reduce the number of resources used. In that way, they could actually contribute to the sustainable economic development. Okay, reduce the number of resources used. Number of resources used. They can also use renewable energy to recycle products or materials. Now let us move to the next question. Okay, we still have question 2C, which says outline two possible economies of scale TBS might benefit from. Of course, we have how many economies of scales? Okay, I can see you remember we have 5. Can you mention them and let's pick 2 and we just outline it? Okay, the first one is what? Managerial economy. That's good. Okay, let's try and put it out in an outline way to have our mark. Managerial what? Managerial economy. Nigeria economy. And which Nigeria economy is help to do what? It help to contribute to Nigeria economy that helps to contribute to the sustainable economy. The sustainable economic development. It helps to do what? It help to contribute to the what? To the sustainable development. to sustainable development. Another one is what? Okay, we have financial economy too. We have financial economy of scales. Okay, and what does financial economy do? Financial economy, we have financial economy. Of course, it can help to have a high level of inventory, let's say, which helps the business, which is the business to have what? To have a high level of inventory, which helps. Of course, I change this. Right? Yes, that help the business. The business is repeated here. Dismiss. Yes, that help the business to have a high level of what? High level of inventory. Let's put it this way. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, we have five. We have purchasing tool, we have technical, we have marketing also. Now let us move to the next question that we have. Let's see the question. Okay, we have question 2D. Question 2D says, explain two possible problems for TBX of holding a high level of inventory. What problem could arise when TBS is holding a high level of inventory? Of course, the first one that should come to your mind is the storage space. Storage space. Of course, large storage space will also be needed when it is holding a high level of inventory. Let's say large what? Large space is needed. Large space will be needed. Now let us try and put our explanation and at the same time the application of the still. Okay, large space will be needed. Will be what? Large space will be needed for the what? For the still, according to our application, be needed for the still. And this can do what? Of course, it will increase the expenses, which can what? It can increase the expenses or the fixed cost can increase the expenses or the fixed cost. Now let us move to another problem that could also arise for holding what? For holding a high level of inventory. Okay, which one comes to your mind? Of course, it can also cause the risk of damage or even wastage also, and the products could rust. Let's say risk of damage, risk of damage or rust. Okay, now let's just try to put an explanation out here too. Risk of damage. Let's try to put the explanation out. Risk of damage. let's say, or wastage too. Of course, I mentioned that earlier. Wastage, it could lead to what? Could lead to a higher cost. Of course, it can also lead to a higher cost. That's also the problem of holding a high level of inventory. Of course, that is not all. We also have the opportunity cost that could be used for other purposes. And also having a high level of inventory can also tie up working capital that could lead to what? Liquidity or cash flow problem. Now let's move to our next question, which is question 2E. Do you think quality control is the best method for a manufacturing business to use to achieve quality production? Justify your answer. Of course, you should know we have quality control and quality assurance by this time. Now let's see little points for using quality control and also for using quality assurance to achieve quality production. Let's start with quality control first. Quality what? Quality control. Okay, what does quality control do? Of course, it eliminates chance of fault before product reach what? Before product reach the consumer. Let's try and type. It eliminates fault. Let's say product fault. Can just leave it like this. Fault before product reaches the customer. By using quality control, it can also help to eliminate the fault or error, let's say, or errors before the product reaches the customer. And you should know that that should actually help them to maintain their what? It will help them to maintain their reputation. Yes. Let us move to another point. When using quality control, also in the production, checking or to check the quality of the product. Of course, the business will need to recruit inspector. That's also increase their labor cost. Okay, let's put it under the quality control also. The business needs to do what? To recruit inspector that will check the product, and this can actually lead to what? Which can increase labor cost. It can increase labor cost. And also one of the advantages of using this quality control too, let's say, let's put it under here too before we can move to the quality assurance, where we check the product at every stages in production. Of course, it does not stop production while checking. That's also one of the advantages. Yes, it does not what? Does not stop production. Does not stop production while checking. And in that way, some outputs will also be what? They will be available for sales. Let's try and drag. Now let us see what we have for quality assurance. Let's see what we have for quality assurance. whether using quality control is the best way or using quality assurance is the best way. Okay, this for quality assurance, this for quality assurance. Let's try and type quality assurance. Okay, by using quality assurance, of course, errors will be stopped before the end of the product. That is, it will be spotted earlier in the process. Let's say errors can be stopped before it happens because the product is checked throughout, so there is less time spent on the reward before they happen. Let's put since it is checked at every stages. Yes, it's checked. And one of the disadvantages of using this quality control is also you will need to train the employee. The business will need to train employee. Let's say the business don't let us use the business because the business is not the entity. What's the name of this is in our appendix? Okay, TBX. Let's say TBX. We need to do what? We need to train. We need to train all employees, and that can actually increase cost, which can also increase cost. Of course, can also increase the employees, can also increase cost. And also the advantages of using it is also the employee motivation. This can using quality assurance where the employee will be the one checking the quality of the product. Of course, it can also increase their motivation that can actually lead to a higher output being produced by them. Now let us see the one we should use here. Do you think quality control is the best or you think quality assurance is the best? Of course, which one? Let's choose the quality what? Let's choose the quality control or we should choose the quality assurance. Let's try and write our point on it. Let's pick quality assurance here, for example, and you will see how you can also develop why you choose quality control. Let's say quality assurance. Quality assurance is the best what? Is the best way because of what? What is your reason? You have to give it out. Because when you are using quality assurance and the product is checked at each stage of production, fewer mistakes is likely to occur because let's say fewer mistakes is likely to occur as the product is checked in every stages, and this can cause what? it will reduce the wastage. Let's say at every stage, okay, in every stage, and this could reduce wastage. It could reduce wastage. That is for using quality assurance. By using quality control tool, one of the advantages is that production worker do not need an extra training, so there is no increase in cost, but you have to recruit an expert to check the quality of the product. Now let's move to the next question. Okay, we have question 3A. In question 3A, we have short appendix 2, which says country X has a mixed economy with both private and what and public sector organization. These organizations are involved in different sectors of economic activity. In the last 20 years of primary sector, in the last 20 years, the primary sector has become less important to country X economy. A summary of the changes is shown in table 3.1, which is this. The government is planning to encourage multinational companies to set up factories in country X. Now using this appendix, the first question says we should define public sector. What do you understand by public sector? Of course, it's a simple definition that require techniques. If you do not put public, of course, public sectors is known as government owned business. Let's try and put it up. You can see it's a simple definition, but if you did not put the business as the government owned business, let's say public sector is defined as the government, you can say, or state owned business, state owned business, because the business is owned, operated, and controlled by the government. The public sector, let's use the public sector, is defined as the government or state-owned business. That's your definition. Now the second question says, define gross domestic product. What do you understand by GDP? That is gross domestic product. Okay, can you define that? It is the total value of output of goods and services in a country within a specific period of time, which is usually 1 year. Let's try and put that out as the definition for gross profit. Let's say it refers to the what? The total value, of output of goods and services in a country during a specific period of time, during a specific period of time. Can put usually a year, usually a year. We have our full stop. We have defined what our GDP means. Okay, now let's move to the next question. The next question says, identify 4 types of business organization in the private sector. This is, okay, let's try and put this as Let's try and leave it like this. Okay, identify 4 types of business organization in the private sector. Of course, you should remember this. It is different from public sector. The first one is what? Sole trader. That is sole proprietorship, one man business. Okay, let's try and type. The first one is what? Sole trader. And the second one is what? Partnership. Correct, that is it. Business between two person. Okay, partnership. Another one is also what? We also have social enterprise, that is rendering service. Yes, social enterprise. Yes. Another one is what? We also have joint ventures, also classified under private sector. Now we've mentioned 4, we also have private limited company too and public limited company. We have what? We have joint venture too. Now we have identified those 4. Let us move to the next question. Okay, the next question says, using the data from table 3.1, explain 2 possible reasons for the changing importance of the primary sector in country X. Let's try and see the table we have in 3.1. Okay, here's the table. Economic sector in country X as a percentage of GDP. The what? The GDP, the value of households produced in a country in a year. What do you think can be the first point here when they are doing what? When they are changing to primary sector in country X, and this is the primary sector? Of course, the first one is it can lead to a fewer or depletion of natural resources. Okay, let's put that in the text. The first reason is what? Depletion of natural resources. Okay, let's type depletion of natural resources. Now let's put our explanation. How do you think depletion of natural resources could be the reason for changing importance of the primary sector in country X? Of course, it can lead to decrease in primary sector. Of this 40% that we are seeing here, yes, can lead to decrease in primary sector, which make the worker to find job in another sector. Let's try and type this out too. Okay, yes, it may lead to a decrease in primary what? In primary sector, let's say of the application, the 40%, the 40%. So the worker will what? The worker will find job in other sectors, and they can also need to import resources too. Now let us see another reason for changing the importance of what? Importance of the primary sector in country X. Of course, it can also increase use of machinery in primary sector. You might want to also increase the machinery in primary sector. The second reason is what? Increased use of machineries. Increased use of what? Machineries. Increase of machinery. And now let's try and bring out our explanation here based on the use of machinery. Of course, using this increased use of machinery or technology in primary sector, it will reduce the need for what? For employees. And that is the reason why the primary sector is only 20% in 2020. As you can see, in the year 2000 here, there is no increase in the machinery. That is why they are having the 60%. Okay, let's try and put it out in text also. Increase used of machineries. Increase use of machinery in primary sectors. The primary sector will reduce the need for employees. You can also put your application, that which is why they have 20% in 2020. Yes, that's it. You've answered their question, which will reduce the application. Yes, increase use. Yes. Okay, we have identified the two reasons. What other reason do you think might be the reason for changing to what? Changing to primary sectors in country what? In country X. Of course, it might be to import cheaper or more raw materials. Yes, can be to import more cheaper raw materials. Okay, let's move to the next question, which is question 3E. We have question 3E, which says, do you think the benefits to a country of having a multinational company located they are always greater than the drawback? Justify your answer. Here you have to identify some benefits and also you identify some drawbacks, that is the limitation. Which one do you think is greater when the business want to become a multinational company? Okay, let's try and see the benefits first before we can move to the drawbacks or the limitation. Okay, the benefits. Yes. Okay, one of the benefits is what? Increased number of jobs that can reduce unemployment. Let's say increase in number of jobs that can reduce unemployment. That is the first benefit to a company of having the multinational company located to their home. Employment, this is employment. Okay, another point is what? It can also increase reputation. Let's try and be typing. It also increase reputation of the company, of the country rather. Increase reputation of the country country and that can actually encourage the business to invest in their own country. And also let's pick one advantage. Also, it will increase order for local supplier. It will increase what? Increase orders for local suppliers, and this can actually increase the income for local businesses and can also increase our gross domestic product, that is the GDP that we mentioned earlier. Now let's see the drawbacks too before we can justify the one that we think it is greater between the two. Of course, one of the drawback is what? Increase in the competition. Yes, okay, let's try and put the drawback first. Drawbacks. Okay, we have the drawback. Say the first one is what? Increased competition. That can lead to, it can lead to lower sales for the local business. Increased competition that can lead to a lower sales for the business. Can lead to a lower sales for the business, or this can also force them to reduce their price, and that will also reduce their revenue. Okay, another one is what? Okay, power to influence government decision. That's also a drawback of having a multinational company. Power to do what? Power to influence government, power to influence government decision in the local economy. Power to influence government decision. That's another one. Okay, the one you remember is what? Use of scarce resources. When having a multinational company in local country can also use up what? Can also use up scarce resources. That is, less resources will be used for other products. Use what? Okay, use of scarce resources. Now let's see whether the benefit is greater than the drawbacks. You can actually pick one, out of this and justify your answer on it. You can actually pick and justify your answer on it. Okay, let's try and put the text here. Let's say out of the benefits we have multinational company, multinational companies, their first benefit is that they create employment opportunity. Multinational companies create what? They create employment opportunities, which reduces unemployment rate, reduces unemployment rate. Can pick the advantages and add them to your justification when you want to justify your answer. Can pick some of the advantages listed above. Now let's see the next question that we have. What happened here? Okay, that's reduce unemployment rate. Okay, we have question number 4 here. Question number 4, we also have little appendix here. Let's try and read. CFN is a travel business which sells holidays. It has 37 shops and 1,000 employees. Last year, TVN's profit increased to $46 million. The managing director knows that good customer service has helped maintain customer loyalty. Okay, he said TVN's manager used idea from Asberg's two-factor theory to help motivate employees. Okay, all employees are provided with off-the-job training, and each manager has a wide span of control. Now the first question says, identify two advantages to a business of maintaining customer loyalty. You should identify two advantages of maintaining customer loyalty. Of course, the first one is what? To maintain sales or repeat customers so that the customer will not go to your competitor. Let's say to maintain or increase sales, maintain or increase sales, maintain or increase sales. That is the first advantage of gaining customer loyalty. So your customer will not go to your competitor. Another one is what? Of course, to improve their reputation or their brand image. That is also part. To improve what? To improve reputation or their brand image. That is the good name of the business. Also, by gaining customer loyalty, it is easier to introduce new products by CFN. Now let us move to the next question, which is question 4B, without wasting our time. Okay, identify two hygiene factors from Esberg's two-factory theory. Okay, can you mention that? Of course, the first one is the working condition or working environment. Let us try and put the text as we highlighted them. The first one is what? Working condition. Form one is working condition or working environment. Yes, working condition or working environment. And the second one that you remember is salary or wages is also part of the iceberg to factory theory. Don't forget, we have Maslow hierarchy too, but we are just told to identify two hygiene factor from iceberg. Okay, the second one is salary or wages that will be paid to employee. Others are what? Okay, job security is also there, relationship with the supervisor. Okay, now let's move to the next question. Next question is question 4C, which says outline 2 reasons why profit might be important to TFN. Of course, we have been coming across this type of question. What do we use profit for? Okay, let's try and put it out in an outline. Let's try and put it out in an outline so that we can fill up the space. Of course, as we all know, profit is a source of finance. It's used to reinvest in the business. Let's say profit is a source of finance. That is, let's say, that is, it is used to reinvest in the business. It can also use for day-to-day running, also as working capital. It can also use to pay debt or loan. Let's try and put it, because we were told to outline, is to invest in the business or what? Or finance the purchase of non-current assets, that is the fixed asset, non-current assets. It can also be to use to pay back loan. Also, okay, can put for it 37 shops. Okay, another reason is what? Profit is also used to measure the success of a business. Okay, let's try and put it down also. To measure what? To measure the success of a business. Let's see the table to use the application for this here. Okay, we don't have table here, we have just only appendix. Okay, the profit has increased to $46 million. Let's see, let's try and put it here too in our outline. To measure the success of a business as shown by profit increase to what? To $46 million. Yes, as our second reason. Of course, profit can also provide a return to shareholders. That is, it helps to attract investors, pay dividends also. Now let us move to the next question. Okay, we have what? Let's see. We have question 4D. Question 4D says, explain one advantage and one disadvantage to TFN of its managers having a wide span of control. We have to explain one advantage and one disadvantage. Okay, what's the first advantage that you will remember of the business having a wide span of control? Of course, fewer supervisors or manager will be needed. Okay, let's try and type fewer supervisors will be needed. Now let's try and put the explanation in the provided space. Let's try and develop our point. Fewer what? Fewer supervisor or manager, as I said earlier, will be what? It will be needed, and this helps to reduce, it will help to reduce what? It will help to reduce labour cost, expense, labour cost, no, labour cost or expense. Labour cost their expenses, and this can actually increase their profit of $46 million. Okay, let's try. What other advantage do you know? Of course, having a wide span of control, you have faster communication that will lead to quicker or better decision in the 37 short. Okay, let's see the disadvantages to one disadvantage. One of the disadvantages is what? Less control. Yes, the first one is less control. Let's try and type that out also. Less control. That's one of the disadvantages. Okay, let's try and develop the points. Let's try and develop the points as we have less control. When there is less control, of course, less work will be done. That is, there will be a lower productivity. Okay, less control. Less control will also lead to less work done. As the what? As the travel business, according to our appendix. Yes, that is that. We also have the disadvantages of effective communication too, that may be difficult when a large number of subordinates are asked to perform specific tasks. As the travel business, that's it. Okay, now let's see the next question here, which is question 4E. Okay, question 4E says, do you think off-the-job training is the best method of training for a service sector business to use? Justify your answer. Of course, we have off-the-job training, we have on-the-job training, and we also have induction training. To justify our answer here, let's try and put little points based on off-the-job, on-the-job, and induction training. Okay, off-the-job training is where your employee is being trained outside of the company. Okay, of the what? Of the job. That is the training that will occur outside the work environment. Okay, by using off the job, of course, new skills can be gained. Let's try and put it. New skills can be gained. New skills can be gained. That is one. That is one of the advantage of using the off job training for the service business. Another one is that when you are using off the job, you will use expert trainer. Yes, you also use expert trainer. That is also a disadvantage. I'm supposed to put it, I want to put it here. Okay, use what? Use expert trainer, and that will increase cost. Using expert trainer, and it is very expensive, and it is expensive, yes, it is expensive and increase cost. That's also a disadvantage. Now let's see other points of using on the job training too before we can justify our answer. Okay, on the job, that is the one that is done within the work environment. Within the work environment. Okay, the first one is employees can carry on working the training is when the training is going on. Let's say employees can carry on working when the training is taking place. Can carry on working when the training is taking place. That is, some work will be done at the same time. Yes. Okay, let's see. Also, one of the disadvantage here is trainer is less productive. Trainer is what? Is less productive. That is when they are training them. Let's say when training others, those that are training them, they will not be productive as much as possible. Now let us see the induction training, the one that is suitable for new employees. Okay, let's try and write that out also. This one, write it out also, and let us see our justification. Just put one out against each other. Okay, we also have induction training. We also have induction training. Let's try and put this in an outline. That is only suitable for a new employee and can also help them to learn culture and help them to learn what? To learn culture, and they will also learn the rules and regulation of the business. Now let us pick one justification here. Let's choose the first one, that is the off the job training. Yes, then the culture. Okay, let's try and put the justification and let's end this share past paper. Okay, the first one I said if you pick of the job training, you have to just of the job training. Of the job training. Now let's see what our appendix is telling us before we can justify our answer. Okay, this we have our question share around here. Okay. Do you think of the job training is the best method of training for a service sector business to use? Justify your answer. Okay, let's say of the job training is the best method to use because it allow employees to make fewer mistakes when they are trained by an expert. Let's say because it allows employee to make mistakes when learning from an expert, when they are learning from an expert. So they are likely to waste resources. They are likely to waste resources when they are working. They are likely to waste resources when they are working. You can also develop your points more than these two based on the job training and the induction training. I think we are done with this paper now. We don't have any other question. Okay, this brings us to the end of this paper one. Also, see you in our next video. Make sure you like, share, and put your comments below this video. See you in the next video.